Titan is standing by. Call it when ready.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire.
Alright, what's up? We're going to talk about Titanfall 2 here. Now, they just had the technical test last weekend. They're going to do it again this weekend. Got to play it for quite a few matches, except for when it wasn't really working. Hugely disappointed. This game has a lot of, I don't want to say big problems. It's like a culmination of a bunch of tiny, stupid problems that just shouldn't be there. And just some really crappy design choices, which is really disappointing. I was super psyched for this game. They announced the campaign, all this other stuff, looked like it could be really good, and this game has made almost no improvement over the first game from a multiplayer standpoint. Now, I know this is the technical test, I know this isn't everything you're going to get, but I mean from a gameplay standpoint, this is extremely similar to the first game. I mean, this is like Modern Warfare 2 to Modern Warfare 3 Call of Duty level of innovation. I mean, it's the same. But let's get into some of these problems. That first shot you saw me do with that sniper rifle, you might think, oh, it was a good shot, you know, whatever. Aiming in this game must be pretty nice. It's not. The ADS in this game is horrendous for a couple of reasons. If you are moving slowly or standing still, you won't mind aiming down sights in this game at all. It's fine for that. However, when you have a game that's this fast-paced, where you're jumping around the map, flying around the map, grappling hook on the stuff, all this nonsense, the ADS should not jerk zoom the way that it does, because it screws up your field of view when it does that. And when you're moving and your environment's changing on your screen so quickly because you're moving around and turning and stuff, it throws you off. It doesn't feel right. It's really clunky. It actually started giving me a headache because I would always aim while I'm in the air or while I'm sprinting and while I'm running and stuff. And it's just poorly done. The movement in this game is very smooth. It's very, very good. I like the grappling hook that they added, although I feel like the innovation that they had when they made the first game is completely gone. It's the movement on the first game with a grappling hook. That's basically what you've got. So that's kind of, you know, they didn't really add anything there at all. The maps are terrible, but the fluidity of the movement, while it is great, doesn't work with the ADS system they put in place. This jerky, quick zoom kind of aim. I mean, you have an iron sight on the gun. Why is my screen going up to like 4 times zoom in like 2 frames? It's just, it doesn't work. It doesn't feel right. It's annoying to have to adjust to. It's just not well done. That's it. There's no other way to put it. It's not smooth. I mean, I know they want to make the aiming really, really quick and really snappy, but it's too fast. The transition needs to be a smooth motion. That's what makes the Call of Duty and Battlefield games and other stuff games, that's what makes the shooting so fluid, is that when you aim your weapon, it doesn't throw you off. The whole point of aiming your weapon is that you have more precision, not less. So, poor design there, the way they did that snappy zoom, that jerky motion, really dumb. Especially considering how fluid the movement is, because the aiming of your weapon needs to go, it needs to work with the movement in the game. If you're going to have a game with really fast-paced movement and jumping around, all this crazy stuff, the aiming of your gun needs to match that really well. It almost feels as bad as like the aiming in Deus Ex or something. So, disappointment there, not well done. Let's talk about just the poor choices by the developers in this game. They took a lot of steps backwards. One of the great things about the first game was that the Titans feel really brutal. They feel really kind of these vicious killing machines. They're dangerous. You should be afraid to fight a Titan, and if you do fight a Titan, you want to feel like you're a badass for doing so rather than running away or whatever the case may be. And if you're in a Titan, it should feel like you're just completely obliterating, you know, these ants and these players that do try to, you know, they run away and they're in the open or whatever the case may be. But man, the gun choices from the Titans, at least so far, are horrible. I mean, this gun, you can see me shooting here, it feels like I'm shooting puffs of cotton candy. It's not brutal, it's not visceral, I don't feel powerful firing this cotton candy machine at people. it just feels lame. It really does. Getting kills in a Titan is not satisfying at all. The melee is still great. You know, when you punch a player, they still like explode and you see the blood and stuff. That's perfect. I love how they did that. But the guns should also reflect that same level of brutal combat that comes with being in a Titan, and it just doesn't. I'm shooting these cotton candy puffs. It makes Titan versus Titan combat just as boring too. Fighting another Titan is dull in this game. In the first game, you had those like the heavy machine gun and these other guns, these cannons and whatnot. You'd fire these kind of shells and you'd fire these heavy bullets, and you'd kind of rip the pilots apart on the ground. That's what this should feel like, except it should be better than the last game, not worse. And they failed to do that in almost every way. Pretty crappy. I really wish, you know, some of the movement innovation that they made with the players in the first game transferred over to the Titans in this game. You know, the Titans are still just kind of locked to the ground and you just kind of walk around. And yeah, you have that little thrust thing or whatever, but you know, that's just whatever. Not a big deal. It's not that cool. The grappling hook, while I like it, makes Titans way too easy to board. I mean, look at this. This is just unbelievable. Fighting players are almost more powerful than Titans now. I've been jumping around between 3 or 4 Titans at a time, just jumping on the backs of all of them. It's way too easy. Fighting a Titan is no longer dangerous when it should be. It's a freaking Titan. So that's poor design right there. Just not well done. Disappointing the way that is. Boarding a Titan's way too easy. Fighting a Titan does not feel dangerous. You don't feel like a badass when you board a Titan. You just feel like you hit the grappling hook button and you just chill, and your guy does the animation. The same goes for the anti-Titan weapons. These things are a joke. If you're fighting a Titan and you want to feel like a badass for going up against a Titan, you want to feel like you're doing real damage. I'm not saying the damage of the weapons needs to be severely increased or anything. I'm saying that it needs to feel like you're having some kind of impact. The guns against the Titans need to be, you know, these big, you know, anti-tank shell kind of weapons, these brutal things where the Titan may even get knocked a bit, you know, in a direction from getting shot or whatever the case may be. But instead I'm shooting some blue electrical puffball that kind of hovers near the Titan, and I don't even know that I'm doing damage. I don't see pieces of the Titan really flying off or anything like that. I just see the little hit markers on the center of my screen, so I just kind of, what do you call it? You just fire and look away. You just fire in the general direction of the Titan and then just run away, reload, and fire again. Kind of boring. The other anti-Titan guns are the same way. The charge gun, the energy cannon, and the grenade launcher one, they all feel basically the same. I don't even prefer one over the others. They just feel boring. It's not, shooting a Titan is just, you just shoot at the Titan and you just go on with your day, basically. A lot of steps backwards. The Titans were these intimidating, you know, badass machines in the first game, and they've lost that somehow when it should have become more so. They should have put more emphasis on that. Another big disappointment is it's still 6v6. Are you kidding me? Come on. They really couldn't do better than 6v6? That's got to be one of my biggest gripes with this right now. The first game, I get it. You're a small studio, you don't have a massive budget, you're testing out an idea, and you're seeing if people are interested. And the answer after seeing the first Titanfall game was a huge yes. Game was successful, game did well, got tons of praise at, you know, the E3 conferences and all that stuff. And now you've got money from the first game. Why did all the innovation and everything in the second game disappear? Where's the pushing of the limits of this game into something new and some, you know, kind of drawing out its potential? It doesn't do that at all. The maps are the same size as the last game, although clearly worse in design. The maps in this game so far, the 2 maps that I got to play, are some of the most boring maps I've ever seen in a game. You know, usually you have a really cool setting. The setting needs to be reflects, you know, what's going on. You're just at some weird generic compound in like a grass field, and there is a energy wall. There is an invisible wall that's not an invisible wall around the map. I mean, it's not cool. It's not interesting. There are even pockets in the middle of the map where it says you're out of bounds because for some reason they wanted to put a tree there, and then they realized you could hide in the tree, and rather than rearranging that, it's just if you try to go next to that tree, you're out of bounds. What? Who designed this? That just feels just completely incompetent and amateurish. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. There aren't really any good paths along the map, and man, because of the poor map design, I mean, in the first game, there was no grappling hook. So the movement of the players, the double jump, the wall running, everything really came into play. It really shined in the first game. But it seems like they almost put in the grappling hook specifically so that they could be lazy with map design. If you try to play this map without that grappling hook, it sucks. It's terrible. And you feel like you're trapped a lot of the time in these weird places. You don't really have many options of where you're going to go. The wall running and stuff like that doesn't really help you in any way. I mean, when you combine it with the grappling hook and you're up high and you have, you can move around and get all these positions, it feels great, but you take out the grappling hook and then it sucks. And let's talk about some of the mechanics in this game. What do you call it? That damage buff that you can get. Damage amplifier thing. It's not even something players fight for, it's something everyone just kind of gets throughout the game based on points or whatever. And so everyone will get it a few times, every couple minutes even, throughout the match. That thing is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in a first-person shooter. Whoever put that in the game has no idea what they're doing. I'm not a game designer, but I can tell you right now, and I'll explain this, that is a super dumb decision, and I'm hoping that goes. So the damage amplifier thing basically makes you do double damage. Well, the problem with this is that it caused so much more grief among players than additional enjoyment. You want all the mechanics in your game to make things more fun than less fun. Now, it's hard to do that for everybody because something that may be more fun for one player will cause the death of other players and whatnot. But in general, you want things to feel cool and feel awesome and have like a good role. This damage amplifying thing is just stupid. So let's get into why that is. I'm going to try to break this down as fast as I can because I don't want this to be too long. So if you do double damage with the damage amplifier, you start undermining the other weapons in the game as soon as that's the case. There's a bolt-action sniper rifle in the game that fires one shot and will kill you in one hit, but it shoots slow as crap. But if you have the damage amplifier, which you get basically every couple minutes and which lasts until you die, then you're never going to use the bolt-action rifle because it doesn't benefit you at all. Because if you have a bolt-action rifle and you use the damage amplifier, you already killed people in one shot. Who cares if you do double damage? It's meaningless. But there's a twin-shot sniper rifle in the game, which takes 2 shots to kill someone. Well, now that takes 1, and it's like a semi-automatic rifle. It's similar to something like an M1 Garand. So, why would anyone even touch the bolt action? It's worthless now. Use the twin shot, get your damage amplifier, and stick with that, because now that's a one-shot kill all of a sudden. So, bolt-action sniper rifle, completely undermined by that. And I know people are going to say, oh, well, you can just shoot the Titans with your bolt action. No, you're not going to shoot the Titans with your bolt action, because you're going to have an anti-tank gun. And the damage amplifier applies to your anti-tank gun as well. So you're going to use that to shoot the Titans, not the bolt action. It's stupid. It undermines shotguns as well. If you have a shotgun, the benefit of the shotgun, similar to the bolt action, is that you can drop someone in one shot at close range. When you have the damage amplifier, an assault rifle will drop someone in like 3 bullets. That thing fires like 800 rounds a minute. And if you miss with the shotgun, you're in trouble because you have to wait for the next shot to load in. Shotguns don't fire super fast. But if you have a machine gun that's a 3-bullet kill and you can just spray your entire magazine at someone when you've got like 30 rounds, why would anyone use a shotgun? As soon as you hit that damage amplifier, you're good at any range. In fact, the assault rifle with the damage amplifier easily beats a sniper rifle every time. Simply because it's way easier to aim an assault rifle in this game. And it may be hard to land 6 or 7 shots, which is what it takes without the damage amplifier. But it's not hard to land 3. You don't even need to burst fire for that. You can just hold that trigger down, and at least 3 bullets will hit the guy, and with the damage amp, you're going to drop him. So suddenly, the assault rifle beats everything. It beats close range weapons, it beats long range weapons with the damage amplifier. And with how often you get it, it becomes a problem, because at any given moment, 2 or 3 people on the other team are going to have a damage amplifier during the match. And getting killed in half the time sucks a lot. Especially when you feel like you have the advantage positionally or weapon-wise. And suddenly the guy just drops you in a split second. It's frustrating. It's really, really annoying. But getting a kill twice as fast is not really any more satisfying. You didn't do anything great. You just hit a button and your gun was stronger. Nothing you did was particularly impressive. So, the enjoyment gained from that really low. The annoyance gained among the players is extremely high. Stupid design shouldn't be in there, and undermines the guns significantly, which is just poor. So that's dumb. The anti-Titan weapons are dumb. The Titan guns themselves are dumb. The Titan design is dumb. So this is the technical test, and I'm well aware that this is not the full game, but it doesn't seem like there will be or there are any options to switch the guns on each particular Titan. And there should be, because these cotton candy machines suck to shoot. They're boring, they're not brutal, they feel lame. And so I don't like them. But each Titan has different core abilities. Well, you're automatically creating a conflict with the characters, or with the players, because let's say someone finds a Titan that has a core ability they like, and maybe the next Titan they reveal next week or whatever will have a really cool heavy machine gun or some kind of gun like that, which feels great to use. But if the core ability that you like is on a Titan that has one of these stupid cotton candy machines, suddenly you have one Titan with one aspect you like and another Titan with another aspect you like, but you can't get a Titan that suits your playstyle with the stuff you actually want. And so suddenly, using a Titan's not going to be very fun for you. And that's stupid. I'm not saying that every Titan should be able to use every Titan weapon. There should be some guns that are exclusive to each Titan and whatnot, just to kind of create some variety in there. But you should have some options. I don't want to be stuck with the stupid cotton candy machine Titan if it has the core ability I like. That's annoying. So I think that's poor in design. And just a lot of disappointing stuff. The ADS thing really bothered me. It might not bother most players. That's fine. The grappling hook makes it way too easy to fight Titans. It's just not as intense as it should be. This should be an intense game. Fighting giant robots should be an intense part of the game, and it's just not. It's just generic grappling hook flying around, way too easy. And there's a lot of problems with that. So huge disappointment. It feels almost like all of their budget went into making the campaign, and then they just reskinned Titanfall, the first Titanfall game's multiplayer for this game. That's what it feels like. It feels like they tacked in a grappling hook, they changed a couple of guns, maybe, and then they changed some of the Titan guns, and that's it. Doesn't feel different enough. The map design is, like I said, really poor. So that's my first impressions of this game. I'm really hoping that they reveal some stuff in the next week that'll change my mind. Maybe they'll do something that'll blow everyone away. I don't know. But so far, really disappointing. Really is. And now maybe as a game you might like it, especially if you didn't play the first one. This feels new and fresh. But for someone like me, this doesn't feel new enough. It doesn't push any of the other games coming out this year out of the way to try to push this game onto a list of something I really want. And it just... not enough innovation from the first game. Feels the same. Anyway, that's all I've got for now. Hopefully I'll make some new video on this next week. See you guys later.